I'm currently breathing in the beautiful smell of the pine trees of Landes as I'm making a little break over here to drink some water, because I just spent the last few hours, or to be more exact days, driving through half of Europe with my surfboard on the side to get down here to explore France's forgotten coastline. Because really often, like, people talk about the Côte d'Azur, cities like Cannes, Nice, Monaco, and however, there's another really beautiful part of French coastline just on the other side of France at the Atlantic, the Côte d'Argent. And it is where I now made my way, and we're going to be going up this coastline into Spain for the next few days with my Interceptor 650. And the plan now for today is to make it to Mimizan-Plage, where I hope to be surfing the first few waves. It's a bit more off the beaten path compared to cities like Osgore or Biarritz, and it is just a really nice, lovely little place, and loads of stuff to see there and loads of nice roads to ride around it. So let's get going. Before reaching Mimizan-Plage, my goal was to find a secret surf spot that I know that is a bit off the beaten path, as we're still here on paved road, driving and navigating to the coastline through these beautiful pine trees, and you can already see the coastal sand on the side of the road. It is a really, really underrated landscape in Europe, just so beautiful. When exploring along the fire roads of the industrial forests of Landes, the sand was getting looser and looser and was a bit of a struggle to get through with the bike, and I was a bit worried about getting stuck. That's why I kept it quite careful, but we were not far from our goal anymore. I think it's best to stop here because it's getting more and more sandy over there, and the K60 Scouts brought us so far. Let's not push our luck because there's still about 2 dunes over the hill. The spot that we're heading to is a lot more empty than the rest of the coastline. However, secrets make the magic, and there are already a few people there sometimes, so I'm not going to share it with you. However, we were facing strong onshore wind. I still went out and tried what surfing-wise is possible. We made it out of the loose sand, and I have to say the waves were still really good even with onshore wind, and there's an important lesson in that you still gotta try even if things don't look really perfect. And with that, we were making our way into Mimizan-Plage, and I've been coming here for a really long time because I really like this place, and it's also a place that I used to come to with my parents because it was really ideal for making vacation on a budget. It was just so lovely seeing the beach at the place that I wanted to be at, and it wasn't just the over 1,000 kilometers that I went here, but also the whole year of waiting to go to this place again and to go surfing here. And it was just so wonderful to arrive with my motorbike on the dune on the parking lot. However, we still have to find a place to spend the night for a pretty penny, and with that, a word from a sponsor for this video, because otherwise this trip wouldn't be possible. And with that, thank you to Beeline with the Moto 2 Classic. which is my stylish little companion that helps me navigate and replaces my phone with that, and with that keeps my phone safe in my pocket. Another advantage is you can really easily switch it from motorbike to motorbike, and it's perfect for an authentically old vintage bike because it doesn't break the look of it. Also, many navigation devices bother me with speaking to me or with dulling down the music. However, this one is the perfect blend between not having a navigation system at all and every once in a while being able to look at the map and get a few clues with a high-pitched peeping sound, which is kind of perfect for how I want to navigate. However, I also managed to navigate India on this, so it definitely gives you enough information for all kinds of situations, and you also can document off-road routes with it quite well. And with that, check out the link for the Beeline Moto 2 Classic in the description and in the pinned comment. As you can see, we made it to the coastline and it looks just lovely. And after all the driving and the first bit of surfing, I'm honestly quite hungry. So let's try to get some food. There's a little imbiss over there on the beach. Let's check that one out. Sadly, the cabin on the beach itself was closed, so I went to a place down the road and got myself an iced matcha latte. I know, really cliche, but my girlfriend got me hooked on those things. And it was really lovely while looking over the river onto the ocean to just chill a bit at the side of the sea and thinking how I'm now going to continue this day, because a thing that I still have to solve is I need to find a place to stay for the night. J'ai une autre question. Tous les magasins dans les villes fermés à 18h, correctement? So we made it to a camping ground and I started to load up some stuff because I still wanted to check the center of town. However, everything was closing at 6 p.m. so I'm going to build up the tent later. However, when having made it to the city, I made a weird observation. I'm right now walking through the middle of the city, looking at all the stores. My plan was to kind of window shop some surfboards, maybe surf suits, and some skateboarding stuff, because I recently got into skateboarding about 2 weeks ago. But turns out, similar to my surf and skate shops at home, they only sell t-shirts. This used to be different. Like, I think last time I was here is like 2 or 3 years ago. And back then, basically all the shops were still filled with a lot of surfboards. Like, yes, it was mostly clothing. Like, I don't know, 10 years ago, it was basically 90% surf stuff and 10% clothing. And it made a complete shift. And like, I think now walking through the town, I mean, I saw about 6 surfboards, but none that I really fancied at like one store. And it is a weird kind of phenomenon because it kind of shows that wearing stuff that is associated with the hobby but not actually doing the hobby is a lot more financially profitable than trying to sell to people that actually do the hobby. And it's a weird kind of transition. But in a way it makes sense because we're entering a time where hobbies become less and less profitable for companies, so it gets tougher and tougher to offer the equipment for them. Motorbike riding is kind of the exception, with motorbikes being relatively expensive, but you also feel these dynamics there. When it comes to surfing, it's also pretty clear why these dynamics are like that. I, for example, bought in the last 10 years 1 surfboard for river surfing from a Chinese shaper and 2 leashes. 1 leash is like 30 quid. So basically the industry that's connected to these stores made about 60 euros of me. And it's very clear that stores like that and the industry itself can't sustain themselves from people that buy 1 30-euro item every 5 years. And you can also strongly feel it in the prices. I bought about 12 years ago a soft top of the same dimensions of this one for 140 quid, and now they're 550. However, enough of that, it's time to build up the tent before it gets dark. So I now build up the tent and now have a proper place to stay again, which feels lovely because honestly I'm quite knackered. I explored the city for a bit. It was a bit weird seeing like the stores change, and also like there's some change going through the city. Like it's quite empty. Like there's not a lot of people around, and it's summer, so that's wild. curious how that's going to continue in the next few years. I'm looking forward to continuing my way tomorrow to Biarritz. The time is all a bit crammed, but that is alright. It's beautiful being on the road again, but also exhausting. It was really fun riding the Royal Enfield Interceptor today, and I still want to check out how the waves now look with the sunset. So let's go and have another look over there. Sometimes when going surfing, people are conflicted of having another look at the waves because it costs time. However, this time it was really worth it, and I decided to go in.